Is the real estate market going to crash this year? Has it already crashed? Are we going to see an increase in home values? Are we going to see a big pickup in demand come the springtime? What is going to happen? There's a lot of different people with a lot of different opinions. We're going to talk about it today. If you guys are interested in the real estate market, this is what this channel is about, so feel free to subscribe below, but let's get right into the video. So being a real estate professional, I don't want to sway you either way. I want to give you guys the data, the information that we have, and let you guys make your own decisions. A lot of real estate professionals are always going to say, it's a great time to buy, it's a great time to sell. But the truth is, it's not always a great time to buy, and it's not always a great time to sell. One could look at the market today and say, hey, we're in a seller's market. It's a great time to sell. They are right. Statistically, we are in a seller's market, or what would be classified as a seller's market, but I would not go as far as telling clients that it is a great time to sell or that it is a seller's market. Here's why. So a seller's market is defined by inventory levels being less than 6 months of supply. So our absorption rate being less than 6 months of inventory. So if no new homes came on the market, we would be out of inventory in less than 6 months, which is true right now. We do have an absorption rate less than 6 months. So technically we are in a seller's market, but I don't think sellers are seeing multiple offer situations right now. They're not getting list price. They're having to negotiate, and days on market is up. So if it was a seller's market, those things wouldn't be happening. So let's talk about what we've seen in the market for the last 2 years. We've seen home prices substantially increase at rates that have never been seen before. Here in Idaho, we had, 20+% increases, then almost 30% increase in home values in 1 year. That's not sustainable. The only reason that was even possible was because it was during a time when interest rates were at historic lows. And interest rates are what affect affordability. So if your interest rate's at a 2%, you can afford a lot more of a home on a 30-year fixed mortgage, because the majority of people aren't actually looking at the purchase price of a home. They're looking at the monthly payment of the home. For the last 2 years, people have been spoiled with cheap monthly payments and are willing to purchase $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 homes because their monthly payment was lower. Well, speed up to where we are today, and the average interest rate is now 7+% for a prime borrower. If you don't have the best credit, you might be looking at a 7.5% interest rate. You can afford current home prices. We're going to throw up this graph right here so I can actually walk you through what I'm talking about as far as the affordability issue that we're currently facing. So this is the home price to median household income ratio in the US. This tracks back 70 years, and on average, home prices have been about 5 times or less the median household income. Well, if you follow it here, in 2006, we actually hit home prices were 7 times the household income. And then we saw that correction, through 2008, 2009, and really kind of bottomed out in about 2012. If you look at where we're at today, we peaked in about April or May of 2022 at almost 8 times the average household income. We've already seen a little bit of a correction there. You can kind of see where this graph is trending. So the issue is, with current rates, people literally just cannot afford to purchase a home. On the flip side, investors can't even justify purchasing investment properties right now with where rates are at. So who's going to purchase homes? Something has to give. We either need to have interest rates come down substantially to be able to support where home values are currently at, or we're going to need to see a correction in home prices, which we already have seen a pretty substantial correction in home prices from the peak of 2022, which people aren't really talking about. But we might see more of a correction this year if interest rates remain high. Now, the saving grace, the reason we haven't seen a big correction or a bigger correction in the real estate market is the fact that we still have very low inventory. Simple economics, supply and demand. If there's less supply than there is demand, then you'll typically see an increase in prices. Well, right now we have such low demand, but we also have such low inventory that it's kind of stabilized our market. We haven't seen a big downfall. Now, we do have the spring market right around the corner. People are saying we could see an influx of spring inventory coming on the market. But the one thing that we have noticed is that a majority of Americans refinanced when rates were low over the last 2 years. And so if they have a 3% or lower interest rate, even 4% or lower interest rate, a lot of people aren't going to be moving, which means their houses aren't going to get listed for sale. One thing that we really have to keep an eye on is that inventory level number. If we do see a substantial increase in that number and we have high rates, we don't see the decrease in rates, then I could see us getting more downward pressure on pricing. So what should you do if you are a buyer or seller in today's market? My suggestion, if you're a seller and you need to sell your home, get it on the market sooner rather than later. You don't want to be competing with that spring inventory when it does come on. And also if rates do continue to increase, you're probably going to get a little bit more downward pressure on your pricing. So it's better to sell now than later down the road. If you can rent it out, you have a good rate, maybe that's an option. Look at what you could rent that house for. If you have like a 3% rate, because you're probably never going to be able to purchase a home or a rental property at that low of an interest rate. So maybe you utilize it. Maybe you build your real estate portfolio and you hold this property for the next 4 or 5 years, let home prices recover to where they were, and then look at selling it down the road. Now, if you're a buyer, here's my advice. We know that interest rates are probably not going to get any better this year, and we might not see them get any better until 2024 sometime. So it doesn't mean you need to wait until 2024 to purchase. If you can find a good deal, if you're comfortable living in the home for the next 4 to 5 years, and you're comfortable with the monthly payment, then you have nothing to worry about. I wouldn't be purchasing if you need to potentially sell that property in the next 1 to 2 years, because we don't know if home prices come down a little bit in the short term, if that'll give you enough time to have them recover over the long term. We do think that, if you're willing to hold a property for at least 5 years, I think you're going to be totally fine. And hopefully there's a chance for you to refinance into a better rate within that 5-year period. I'm not saying marry the rate or marry the house, date the rate. I don't believe in that, but hopefully there is an opportunity in the future where you have regained your equity, or you have equity because you bought a really good deal and rates come down where you have the opportunity to refinance. With that being said, if you guys want more videos like this, talking about the real estate market, what we're looking at, what data we have and information that we can share with you guys, please let us know in the comments below. If you guys have questions about anything that I touched on or specific questions that you want me to answer, also put those in the comments below. Like and share this video with anybody that you think could benefit from knowing what's going on in the real estate market. Stay tuned and we will see you guys in the next video.